Hi everybody, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made this classically animated walk cycle. So let's begin. So for drawing materials, I generally use standard HB graphite pencils, either wooden or mechanical. I also like to use red and blue Prisma Colur erase pencils, and for inking, I use fine liner pens of various line thicknesses. Next, I use an animation hole punch to make holes in the paper, and then I place the paper onto a peg bar. Now animation hole punches can be costly, so a cheaper alternative is a 2-hole peg bar, which is designed to be used with a standard hole punch that can be purchased in most stationery stores. Now, to help me see through a stack of drawings, I use this A4 Lightbox with a portable power supply as a drawing surface. It's small, lightweight, and it allows me to animate wherever I like. For example, here is a little animation I made whilst on a train. So I begin by roughing out each frame with quick sketches and using simple shapes. I am not concerned with details at this stage. I am mainly focused on the general movement of the character. Once the rough animation was completed, it was time to preview the animation by performing a line test. I built a line testing system by attaching my mobile phone to a camera mount and then taking a photo of each frame. Now, if you don't have access to a mobile phone, a web camera can be used. I place the first frame onto the peg bar and then take a photo. I then remove this drawing and place the next frame onto the peg bar, and I continue repeating this process until all the frames have been captured. Now, the software I used to make this animation is called Rough Animator. I import the photos from my mobile phone into Google Drive, and then I import them from Google Drive into the Rough Animator's timeline. Here is the results of the line test. As I was happy with the results, I began adding the details to the character, as well as finalising the line work of each drawing. I then performed another line test. With the details added and the line art tied down, it was time to ink the drawings. Using a Lightbox, I placed a clean sheet of paper on top of the pencil drawn image and traced over it with a fine liner pen. I repeated this process until all the frames had been inked. I then performed another line test to check that the ink drawings worked as expected. Happy with the ink drawings, it was time to scan each of the inked frames into the computer. I secured my peg bar to the bottom of the scanner using masking tape and scanned each frame. With all the images scanned, I had to clean and prepare them to be placed into the Rough Animator scene. To do this, I used the free software Krita. I imported the whole image sequence into Krita's animation timeline and then placed a levels filter onto it. I then adjusted the sliders to remove any unwanted greys and to increase the darks of the inked lines. I then merged this filter with the drawings layer and then applied an alpha filter to the image sequence. This makes all the white in each image transparent. I then exported this image sequence. With the frames cleaned and transparent, I imported them into the Rough Animator's timeline. I then created a layer under these drawings and used this layer to colour in each frame. Now, a little tidying was required from time to time, removing the odd unwanted mark. Here is how the scene looked once it was coloured. With the animation complete, it was time to create the background art. I drew each background asset separately, and then I used watercolours to paint them. I then scanned them into the computer and cut out each asset using Krita. With the character animation and background assets ready, I used Compositing software to place all the assets together into one scene. I then animated the background assets moving from left to right. The software I used was Adobe After Effects, but the free compositing software called HitFilm will deliver the same results. And here is the final animation. So that's it everybody. I hope this video has inspired you to make your own classical animations. If you need to know more about the process, then please read the description below, where I will provide links to the equipment and software I used to create this animation. I will also cover any technical aspects that were not covered in the film. And finally, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I will help as best I can. So until next time, thanks for watching, and happy animating.